Hi, good morning YouTubers. It's me, Michael Brewer, your gay guru, reporting to you sunrise on day 2 of the 7-day mental diet. If you look behind me, the sun is about to go up, and probably just after it goes up, it's going to go behind the clouds there. On day 2 of the mental diet, I want to talk about the pain body. That is a concept introduced by Eckhart Tolle. I know we're working on the 7-day mental diet, which was introduced by Emmett Fox, but I like to combine things and synthesize the various materials that I've learned about over the years. The pain body is what it sounds like. It's a collection of negative thoughts, patterns, and beliefs that begins to grow up in any human being pretty much from birth. As soon as we realize that there's an I, a separate entity, and we build an identity, which he likes to call the ego, pain body arises from lack of what we want, sadness, anger, rage, all those negative emotions. So I think it ties in really well here, because if you try to go 7 days with just a positive thinking and not entertaining negative thoughts, your pain body is going to kick in. Your ego is definitely going to, sort of fight back. It will definitely rise. With all the best intentions in the world, ego has an identity and an energy all of its own and will fight for its preservation. Because make no mistake here, people, if you go on the 7-day mental diet and really try to change your life in a way that you're thinking in a positive manner, the ego's very existence is threatened, and it will definitely find ways to fight back and defend itself. And the best way to do that is to kick in your pain body. All those stored memories of past grievances and angers. He or she did this to me. My mommy and daddy didn't love me the way they wanted. This person wronged me. In the past, when I tried this bad thing happened, or these horrible memories, or now, or just even in the present, it'll attack us. This situation isn't what I wanted, or this person isn't good. All the judgments we place upon people, especially. Just think about how you walk through life looking at the people you want and judging them and finding them lacking in one way or another, even if it's subtle ways like jokes or sarcasm. The pain body will become active, do whatever it can to throw you off the mental diet. And that is, what do we mean by negative thoughts? What's the difference between a negative thought and really falling off the mental diet? Negative thoughts are bound to come and go all the time, and there's probably no way you can really just shut it off entirely, at least not at this stage. As you're walking through life, depending on no matter what you're doing, you're gonna have a fleeting negative thoughts going through. That's not what we're talking about here. Something happens to you, a mosquito bites you, you're not supposed to think that's a great thing. It hurts, and for a second you might even be irritated. The difference here is what we're talking about is entertaining or holding on to a negative thought, allowing that to become really part of your consciousness for, let's say, more than 30 or 60 seconds tops. I think I would draw the line there, 60 seconds. You've got about that long to recognize that you do have a negative thought. And that's probably the whole point here, is becoming aware and becoming conscious of how you're feeling. That's probably the essential point here, is to be aware of the thoughts you're having. I think most of us gone through life so long not even realizing what we feel. Sometimes the onslaught of emotions is so great, we just become sort of numb. One of the greatest things I think about the 7-day mountain diet is that it does teach you to be sensitive to what you're feeling. The feeling could be in a form of a thought. It usually will be, this sucks, this doesn't feel good, this isn't what I want, I don't like what this person did to me. Or it could be even a physical sensation like the mosquito bite, or that little tweak of muscle pain, or a headache. Those things will come. Let them wash over you. Don't try to suppress those sort of negative impulses as they arise. But then be aware and realize, oh, wait, I'm feeling this. I'm thinking this negative thought. that is the beginning of a new identity, and separating your identity from your ego, which is separating your mental thought patterns, which is your ego, that collective body of thoughts, who we've all tend to identify with, from who you really are, which is sort of an entity within ourselves that is thinking the thoughts. So there are two different entities here we're talking about, which is the thoughts, the body of thought, and the observer of the thoughts. And to really stay on the 7-day mental diet, you really need to move over to that space where you are the observer of the thoughts. Ah, I'm thinking this. Oh, I'm hungry. My stomach is grumbling. Instead of getting grouchy about it and holding on to that grouchiness for minutes or hours until you're hungry, you think, oh, I am hungry. And the interesting thing about that, and why that's so important, is that when you bring those thoughts to presence, and when you become aware of those and conscious of those thoughts, it takes the power away from them, and you can decide to think otherwise. Oh, I am hungry. I reach for something to eat, or I'll say to myself, well, I can't eat right now. I don't have the time. I'm not in a place where food is available. I'll put it off. I won't let that affect my mood and how I'm feeling. And so there's a consciousness involved here, and an act of making conscious. I want to read a little bit from Emmett Fox here. One of those negative thoughts and conditions which are impossible to avoid at the point where you are today. What of the ordinary troubles that you have to meet in the office or at home? The answer is that such things will not affect your diet, provided that you do not accept them. By fearing them, by believing them, by being indignant or sad about them, or by giving them any power at all. Any negative condition that duty compels you to handle will not affect your diet. Go to the office or meet the cares at home without allowing them to affect you. None of these things move me, you can say to yourself. None of these things really can affect me, and all will be well. Suppose you will be lunching with a friend who talks negatively. Do not try to shut him up or otherwise snub him. Let him talk, but do not accept what he says, and your diet will not be affected. Suppose that on coming home you are greeting with a lot of negative conversation. Do not preach a sermon, but simply do not accept it. It is your mental consent, remember, that constitutes your diet. Suppose you witness an accident or an act of injustice, let us say. Instead of reacting with pity or indignation, refuse to accept the appearance at its face value. Do anything that you can to right matters. Give it the right thought and let it go at that, and you will still be on the diet. Well, that's written in 1930, so it's a bit of an older language. Often, I think a phrase that really could be helpful in this situation is to say, is this so? If someone says, oh, this is negative, this is a bad thing, this is a horrible thing, just say, is this so? Because sometimes things that appear negative on face value are in fact neutral. In fact, all things are neutral when you really look at it. Things become only negative by us assigning them that value. And so if we can be slower to rush to judgment and just say, okay, this has happened. This accident happened in front of me. This news is flashing over the TV screen. And instead of deciding, oh, this is a negative thing or a positive thing, just let it be. He says, don't accept it. I would say, just accept the fact that that's there. This event, this news, this interaction is there in my face right now, and not rush to the fact that this is good, this is bad, this hurts me, this is negative, this makes me angry. Just let it be, and realize that you have that choice, because that's what it's really all about. It's a matter of choice. We're the ones who assign the negative or positive emotional value to the things that we experience in our lives. I'm feeling good here on day 2 of the 7-day mental diet, and I hope you two are too. I hope you're joining me. I hope some of you are.